In this video, we introduce you to the latest agricultural innovations that could transform the industry. From smart tractors to revolutionary crop care systems, you'll find everything you need for modern farming. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on the latest innovations. With the revolutionary HR700 The 6 Ultra Air Blast Sprayer, experience the future of precision agriculture and see how it will revolutionize crop protection and care. This innovative sprayer is designed to be very efficient. It can cover large areas quickly, with a reach of an amazing 492 feet. This ensures that your crops get the necessary care without wasting any water. Consider treating up to 37 acres in a single hour, which would simplify and lower the expense of large-scale agricultural operations. The HR700 The 6 Ultra is not your average sprayer. It's a marvel of agricultural technological innovation, designed to increase yields while maximizing resource consumption. With the help of this equipment, you can do more tasks in less time while also improving the accuracy and potency of each spray, giving your crops the precise care they need to flourish. Investing in such cutting-edge technology guarantees long-term savings on resources and labor, even if the cost details vary depending on configuration and region. This sprayer is fascinating because of its unique design, which enables remote control and offers agricultural specialists a new level of comfort and safety. Presenting the Senk Dredge King, an engineering wonder that raises the bar for water management, clearing, and dredging. A versatile amphibian workhorse that is prepared to face the most demanding conditions. The Dredge King can perform a wide range of jobs, including cutter suction dredging and cleaning operations, thanks to its small size and low draft. Up to 204 horsepower may be produced by its supplementary equipment, guaranteeing strong performance on any task site. With the Dredge King's 350-degree swivel range and ability to load itself onto a trailer, just think of how easy it would be to move from land to water and back. This amphibious dredger streamlines processes, which makes it a valuable tool for your projects. Despite configuration and location-related differences in price, investing in a Dredge King means having unmatched efficiency and mobility on the water. It's noteworthy to note that this machine is amphibious, which means it can move between land and water with ease. This characteristic greatly lessens the logistical difficulties that come with using standard dredging equipment. With Agbot by Jacobson, the cutting-edge autonomous tractor that is transforming agriculture, take a step into the future of farming. This robot tractor is coming to change your agricultural operations with its accuracy and efficiency. With a variety of cutting-edge capabilities like GPS, LiDAR, and camera navigation, the Agbot is more than just a tractor. It's a multi-purpose powerhouse that guarantees accurate and reliable fieldwork. It is an essential equipment for contemporary farming since it can cover up to 24.7 acres per day and run for up to 24 hours on a single fuel refill. Envision reducing labor expenses and greatly increasing agricultural output while making a positive impact on the environment. Sustainable agricultural methods are encouraged by the Agbot's low ground pressure and zero-emission electric drivetrain, which reduce soil compaction. It's the multi-purpose answer you've been waiting for, adaptable to a range of agricultural applications from spraying to sowing. Are you prepared to use cutting-edge technologies to improve your agricultural operations? Find out more about how the Agbot can transform the sustainability and productivity of your farm. Take the first step toward a future of farming that is more productive and ecologically friendly by visiting Jacokson's website right now. Priced from around $337,184, depending on setup, is the Agbot 5 115T2. The Agbot's ability to be controlled remotely and compatibility with existing agricultural implements make it an intriguing device that can be seamlessly integrated into your present farming operations without the need for additional software or equipment. Presenting the ideal high-clearance tractor for contemporary arboriculture, the groundbreaking Damcon Multitrike. The Multitrike is the king of the rows, revolutionizing the efficiency of growing Christmas trees and more. With a powerful engine that can provide between 31 and 67 horsepower, the Multitrike is designed to process 3 rows at once, guaranteeing unmatched productivity. Its many attachments for harvesting, base pruning, spraying, fertilizing, and mechanical weed control, all designed to satisfy the many requirements of your crops, showcase its adaptability. With a machine designed for row lengths of 35.4 to 59 inches, ideal for conifers, fruit trees, and Christmas trees, imagine the time and money you may save. With more than 40 years of expertise, Damcon provides a full range of tree nursery equipment in addition to tractors. Don't let another season to go by with subpar performance. To learn more about the Multitrike and how it may revolutionize your farming operations, visit the Damcon website right now. Purchasing a Multitrike entails investing in sustainability, efficiency, and quality, even if the precise cost is unknown. It's noteworthy to note that this high-clearance tractor can treat up to 445 acres annually, demonstrating its remarkable capacity and performance. Introducing the groundbreaking Garfa in-row weeder, a game-changer for American farmers looking to eliminate weeds with accuracy and efficiency. The Garfa in-row weeder precisely differentiates individual plants using sophisticated RoboCrop video image processing, allowing mechanical weed eradication with unmatched precision between rows. With the ability to precisely target weeds up to 0.31 inches away from plant stems, it ensures complete weed eradication without compromising crop health. Imagine lowering expenses, adopting a more sustainable agricultural method, and depending less on labor-intensive physical labor and chemical treatments. This weeder is built for adaptability, able to conform to many crop kinds such as celery, cabbage, and lettuce. Systems are scalable for any size farm, with a maximum length of 20 rows that span approximately 20 feet in width. Despite the fact that exact costs vary depending on needs and preferences, purchasing a Garfa in-row weeder is a progressive step in agricultural development. A fascinating piece of information: forward rates of up to 6 plant spacings per second are possible with this technology, proving its effectiveness and ability to greatly increase your agricultural production. The XAG R150 autonomous robot is transforming the farming sector and taking a big step forward for farming in the future. This $32,000 all-electric small-scale autonomous farming robot isn't just a device, it's a farmer's new best buddy, aimed at increasing productivity and cutting labor expenses on American farms. The adaptability of the R150 lies at its core. With its sophisticated technology, this robot can distribute materials on-farm, explore the area, and preserve crops with accuracy. It can operate in different modes with a precision of less than 1 centimeter. The R150 can easily travel over a variety of agricultural terrains with a maximum load capacity of roughly 440 pounds and a peak speed of approximately 0.75 miles per hour. Its turning circle is only about 3.3 feet, making it very maneuverable. The XAG R150 promises to significantly reduce the physical toll of agricultural operations in addition to increasing output, making it an intelligent investment for American farmers looking to invest in the future of farming. It offers a peek into a time when tradition and technology come together to produce high-yield, sustainable agriculture. Are you prepared to transform your lawn mowing technique? Introducing the precision mowing powerhouse, the Jacobson HR700. With its unmatched 14-foot cutting breadth, the HR700 outperforms conventional 11-foot mowers in terms of productivity, increasing by 25%. Yes, you read correctly. Cover more distance with less effort. Desire. With its nimble maneuverability and zero uncut circle radius, you can easily cut large estates, parks, or even airport fields. Its powerful 65.2 GP engine and 20.4-gallon fuel capacity ensure efficiency and endurance. Take our word for it, but the Jacobson HR700 which retails for around $59,900, is an investment in performance and quality. Are you prepared to step up your mowing game? Check out our website for more information. Not only is the HR700 a mower, but it's also the first 14-foot wide rotary mower in the world, creating a new benchmark for big area mowing. With the Arcusin Multipack D14, farmers and ranchers may transform their baling process and bid adieu to labor-intensive manual work and welcome to efficiency. The revolutionary Multipack D14 bundles 14 compact square bales in a single pass thanks to its innovative design. With only an 80 horsepower tractor, it transforms the hay and forage processing industry and eases your workload. With a completely automated machine that operates independently of the baler and guarantees that no bale is left behind, even on uneven ground. Imagine saving hours of labor in the field. The $88,500 investment in the Multipack D14 is a step toward updating your agricultural enterprise. Don't delay. Start improving your baling process right now. As the first bundler to function with both 2 and 3 tie bales, the Multipack D14 delivers unmatched versatility for all of your baling requirements. With Crone-trailed rotary tedders, farmers and forage producers can improve the quality of their hay and operate in the field with unmatched efficiency. Crone tedders are designed for optimal forage spreading and come in a range of models with working widths ranging from 18 1-inch to a massive 64 4. They are equipped with innovative Octolink maintenance-free clutches and liquid grease lubricated gearboxes, which ensure dependable, high-quality work with minimal downtime. Crone's innovative design reduces ground pressure, conserving your field while boosting forage quality. Imagine effortlessly manipulating border spreading from your cab for flawless edge work, or effortlessly altering the angle of throw for accurate conditioning without the need for equipment. When you're prepared to increase your agricultural productivity, stop by your local Crone dealer to learn more about the features and ways that the trailed rotary tedders can change your business. Because of its heavy-duty super C tines and uneven tine lengths, Crone tedders provide the distinctive Crone combing effect for clean, consistently dispersed fodder. This means your forage dries evenly, improving quality and feed value. Presenting the Ditch Witch 1820, the trenching industry's powerhouse. Designed to redefine efficiency, this machine holds the key to unlocking unprecedented levels of production on the worksite. With a Honda GX 610 engine, the 1820 is a powerful but precise machine that is 81 inches long, 35.6 inches wide, and weighs 1,300 pounds. Its design allows it to function well even in difficult situations. Imagine being able to dig trenches with ease thanks to this little powerhouse. Whether you're installing irrigation systems or cables, the Ditch Witch 1820 makes sure everything runs smoothly, increasing the productivity of your project and decreasing personnel costs. Contact your local dealer now to see how the Ditch Witch 1820 may improve your job and help you take the next step towards optimizing your operations. With this trencher, you're investing in speed and dependability rather than merely purchasing a tool. With its distinctive form that makes it simple to carry and store, the Ditch Witch 1820 is more than simply a powerful tool. It's an innovative piece of ingenuity that offers an unparalleled combination of ease and functionality in the industry. The 83 HD Plus Arbor Pro is the ultimate instrument that has revolutionized the tree care business nationwide. Use it to elevate your tree care service. This machine is a powerhouse for any tree care professional, boasting an impressive working height of 83 feet and up to 46 feet of lateral reach. Its features, which include a double telescopic lower boom, triple telescopic upper boom, and 180-degree basket rotation, are designed for exceptional access and versatility. With just one setup, you can reach the highest trees, easily maneuver through confined places, and even automatically level on steep slopes. With the 83 HD Plus Arbor Pro, you can increase your productivity, adaptability, and safety, and take on tasks that were previously unachievable. Don't pass on the chance to equip your fleet with this indispensable aerial lift. Get in touch with All Access Equipment right now to find out how the 83 HD Plus Arbor Pro will transform your tree care business. Unbelievably, for the last 8 years, the 83 HD Plus Arbor Pro has been the best-selling tracked aerial lift in the United States, demonstrating its unrivaled dependability and efficiency in the tree care sector. Discover the future of farming with Crone forage harvesters, the powerhouse of efficiency and innovation on your farm. From the compact Big X 480 to the formidable Big X 1180, Crone offers unparalleled horsepower ranging from 490 to a staggering 1,156 GP, catering to every farmer's needs. Imagine transforming your harvest with the world's most powerful forage harvester, the Big X 1180, designed to enhance your productivity and streamline your operations. These machines represent a significant investment in your farming future, with prices reflecting their advanced technology and capabilities. For example, a model like the Crone Big X 480 can be found on the market for around $269,000, showcasing the blend of performance and precision engineering. A fascinating fact about Crone's technology is its contribution to sustainable farming practices, optimizing efficiency while minimizing waste. Take the leap today and elevate your farming operation with Crone forage harvesters. Experience the difference in power, performance, and precision. Visit your local dealer or our website for more information and transform your harvest tomorrow. Farming enthusiasts and farmers everywhere, get ready for an agricultural revolution. The Tubeline BF8000 bale processor is here to change the game. This self-loading trailed machine boasts a sturdy design that allows it to easily feed out round bales up to 6 feet in diameter and 2,500 pounds in weight. Its two-prong bale spear and hydraulic loading arm can transport a second bale to the field, maximizing efficiency. With a machine built to tackle even the most difficult jobs, imagine how easy it would be to distribute hay, straw, ballige, or silage across your fields. The BF8000's apron chain conveyor and adjustable table angles up to 22.5 degrees ensure that every bit of the bale is utilized, reducing waste and saving you time and money. Not only that, but the BF8000 also exhibits Tubeline's dedication to functionality and innovation with its retractable fingers, which fluff the bale on the table side and retract to prevent material from being pulled back under the drum. You can also opt to add a storage box for the field disposal of net and bale wrap. Don't miss this chance to improve your agricultural operations. Equip your farm with the Tubeline BF8000 bale processor and experience productivity and efficiency never before seen. Get in touch with Tubeline Manufacturing today to learn more and start the process of changing the course of your farm. A comprehensive solution for planting needs is ensured by the innovative Plant Machine PL40 series, which is designed to meet the diverse needs of modern agriculture. The PL40 F1, for example, is an efficiency marvel that can plant fruit trees alongside wooden poles in a single pass by integrating 5 essential work steps: spreading fertilizer, trench milling, pole placement, tree planting, and trench closing. The PL40 F2 expands capabilities even further for users facing more difficult terrains. In addition to planting fruit trees, this model combines 6 work passages with the extra steps of drilling holes and placing concrete piles, all guided by GPS for accuracy. It can also be used for operations without GPS. A notable feature of the PL40 series is its GPS-driven operation, which not only ensures precision in planting, but also represents the cutting edge of agricultural technology. These machines are designed to maximize efficiency, reduce labor costs, and improve the success rates of planting operations, making them a valuable investment for modern farming operations. Although specific cost details are not readily available, contacting Damcon directly via their official website will provide the most accurate and up-to-date pricing information for these highly specialized machines. It is advised to visit Damcon's official website to get more information about features, specs, and to inquire about price. Learn about the Vaderstad Tempo L, a revolutionary high-speed planter that is revolutionizing planting in the United States. Its capacity and superior precision set new standards, doubling the efficiency of traditional planters. Its central fill system simplifies the distribution of seed and fertilizer and increases productivity. Fun fact: in 2017, the Tempo L set a world record by planting over 1,240 acres of maize in just 24 hours in Hungary. Despite its capabilities, it folds up to a mere 9.8 feet for easy transportation. Stay tuned for more cutting-edge features and real-time control with the Vaderstad e-control system. Prices vary based on the model.